Hello and welcome to Dad Surviving Divorce. I'm Dwayne, and today I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind lately, and I've been meaning to make a video about it, and I just thought I would go ahead and do it. And that's the crazy fact that awareness is all around us in popular culture about narcissistic abuse and personality disorders, but we don't really recognize it. So I'm going to ask you just a simple question. Have you noticed that everywhere you look, there's references to it? You see it in music, movies, TV shows, you name it. It's like it's that unspoken secret that everybody knows about, but that nobody knows about at the same time. It's really kind of crazy. And lately, as I've been listening to primarily music, but just as I go throughout my day consuming, typical pop culture type stuff, music, movies, TV shows, stuff like that, now I'm starting to see all of the references to this stuff constantly. So a little, tidbit of information about me. For whatever reason, growing up, I never really listened to words of music. I really like music. I listen to music a lot. And I would know the words, but it's like I would know them by sound, but I never really paid attention to words. Now, who knows why that is? Maybe it was a defense mechanism that I did just so that I didn't have to confront or listen to what was really being said, and I just enjoyed the melody and the music of, just the raw music of the performance. So one thing that's happened with me, and you may relate to this as well, is as I've started going through this journey, I started listening to words more. And, the first time that happened was I was coming back from a long road trip. I dropped one of my kids off to spend the week with their grandmother, and the other two were in the car with me, and we were driving back, and I was listening to a song. I think it was a Linkin Park song. And I remember at one point my youngest daughter said, you should sing that song to mommy. And I was just like, wait, what? And when I asked about it, and I'm like, really? And then I hit replay and played the song again. And basically the whole I don't remember what the name of the song was off the top of my head. If I can remember it, I'll splash it across the bottom of the screen here. But the premise of the song is basically the person who, had everything and lost it all, right? You had it, but you lost it all. And there was nothing the other person could do or the person singing it could do to convince the other person of it. And it was really telling at that time. And it was one of those things where I kind of took a pause and I actually listened to the words. And then shortly after that, I really started opening myself up and listening more to the words of songs as I was going through my day. Now, one thing I've noticed, and you probably noticed the same thing, is you can't turn on the radio and not hear a song about narcissistic type abuse, and typically the person singing the song, and if it's the lovey-dovey song, I mean, if everything's great, that's one thing, but if it's a typical breakup song, then you either have the angry guy who has been jilted by somebody, or you have somebody singing about it in a different way, but bottom line is the same thing. And when you listen to it, it's really eerie how constantly you're bombarded with these messages about people who treat people badly, who don't really love the other person, who cheat, who put on these masks. It's all an illusion. All these type of things that are typical themes in narcissistic abuse recovery videos, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And the really weird part about it is nobody really knows about it. They're not putting two and two together. I think the really scary part about this is in society, we make it a joke and we make it normal behavior. And if you think about it, it really sets people up, especially if you have poor boundaries, just in the beginning. But if you're surrounded by this type of stuff, where these things happen and it's quote unquote normal, then whenever you're experiencing it, why would your brain think that hey, this isn't normal, this isn't right, when you're constantly hearing about these type of situations. I mean, it's almost a rite of passage nowadays when somebody, gets divorced. I mean, especially from a guy perspective, you get divorced, you lose all your stuff, you lose your kids, and there's not really outrage from it. It's like you're like, hey, you're in the club now. Now you're one of us, and it's like, are you? And I think that's part of the problem that really makes it difficult for people to recover from this, because you're not really dealing with. I mean, not that you're. It's like the information is right there in front of you. The answer is right in front of you. But because of the way we've been programmed and brought up, it's all normal, right? All the stereotype behaviors is put out everywhere to where it's normal. That you run through the laundry list, and it's like, well, that's just what people do. That's just normal behavior. And it's like, how do you expect somebody who's trying to grapple with the reality of what they're dealing with the reality of a smear campaign, of parental alienation, whenever you're being systematically destroyed and you don't understand why? Now, typically what happens is there's always a reason, right? Somebody deserves something, or there was some catalyst to make it happen. So what happens is that when you're going through this, and you may be dealing with this right now, and what I mean is that you could be, if you're in the early stages of this and you're trying to rationalize, going, what in the heck happened for this to happen, for someone to act like this? Did I do something really wrong? I mean, did I cause this to happen? And then you get stuck because you're trying to just rationalize the irrational, and at the same time, you're trying to deal with the reality of what's happening. And it's pretty catastrophic. But slowly over time, you start to realize, as you start watching videos on narcissism, or you start reading about it, or you really start diving in and peeling it back, you realize, wait a minute, this isn't normal behavior. This is aberrant behavior where somebody is systematically doing something for their own personal gain. And you're then looking across the table at a person that you used to, and to be perfectly honest, especially in the early stages of this, you probably still love this person. You're probably really angry at yourself because it's like, how in the world could you still have these feelings for somebody who is systematically trying to do everything to break you, destroy you, to get you to just give up and go away and give them everything that they want. So as you're watching this video, you already know that this isn't normal behavior, and you already know, and because you're experiencing it, how destructive this really is. The sad truth of all of this is that awareness to cluster B personality disorders, narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, is going to take a long time for people to understand. But the positive thing about this is every time somebody learns about this, I mean, really learns about it, not just the part whenever you're licking your wounds and you're going through a breakup and you're listening to all those sad songs, and you're listening either to sad songs or the angry songs to just try to get that emotion out. When you can take a step back and really see what's going on and make positive changes in your life to mitigate some of those acts, and to not allow yourself to just build up those walls, build up those defenses so much that you're shutting out part of your feelings, part of your ability to really deal with this and be a genuine person. That's as when things start to get better. And and as more people learn, as you learn about this and you're able to share your newfound knowledge with other people who could potentially be going through it, that's where this is really going to change. Now, I know that doesn't necessarily make your current situation a bed of roses, or I like to say a bowl full of rainbows, but it is something positive. You are learning about the situation, and you're learning techniques and skills and understanding to deal with it yourself. And even if you're in the early stages of this, even if you're at the beginning stages where you're thinking, oh my God, I will never get in another relationship, and I won't trust anyone else, and all men are evil, or all women are evil, or whatever, you're going to go through that at the beginning stages. It's part of your self-preservation to deal with this situation, to basically survive it. But as you learn more and you get your awareness and your vision clear to where you can see who people really are, what they're really doing, what their motivations and their goals really are, then you start phasing those people out. And then you can start to recognize real, genuine people that are a positive to your life. All right, so I'm going to wrap this video up. If you want to add to the conversation and the discussion about how awareness is changing, or what your perspective on it is, or maybe even think that my little rant here doesn't even make any sense, add it in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell notification so that YouTube will actually notify you when I actually put out a new video. And if you get a chance, run on over to the Dad Surviving Divorce website to check out the new updates. Sign up for the newsletter so you can get on the mailing list. And I will chat with you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye.